Well, Mike, there's a major lawsuit underway right now based out of the NOAA facility here in Boulder. It's behind some data revolving around climate change. This is pretty interesting stuff. So, former NOAA data steward is taking the University of Colorado to federal court, accusing the school of retaliating against him for blowing the whistle on what he calls the destruction of decades of historical weather documents and data. And this is one of the facilities where they do testing. It's a tower assembly. This is the guy, Dr. Justin Mabel. He's behind the lawsuit. So according to this guy's allegations, he's a Justin Mabel. He's a, or maybe I'm misreading his name. Maybe I think is the guy's last name. Longtime CIRES scientist. That's an acronym, CIRES, who managed the World Data Center for Geomagnetism. He filed an amended complaint this week claiming the university officials and NOAA partners ordered the shredding and chaotic relocation of irreplaceable climate and space weather archives. The moves violated federal records, laws, and helped push a narrative of rapid global warming to justify massive funding for geoengineering and weather modification programs. He discovered data that proved global warming was a farce. They destroyed the data so they can keep getting federal funding for their geoengineering and weather modification programs, which, Mike, as you recall, there is no geoengineering and weather modification programs, right? It's all conspiracy theory, man. They're not doing anything with the weather.
But that just is more evidence to my theory that like they were starting all these companies and just not really doing it, just taking the money.
He's claiming they're doing it and they're burying the information and the data. And they're taking the money to carry out these activities. So
I believe there's a lot more embezzlement. You know, I've always said it's like you give them $1 million. You know, all these guys have 6-figure salaries, and then one guy making $16 an hour blows off a bottle rocket in the desert.
Right.
Geoengineering.
No, I feel you on that. Yes.
You know, you got all these like execs and all these guys in offices. They're all making money, and then at the end of the day, it's Augustus throwing up a Coke can of powder. You know.
Yeah, no, I totally feel you on that one. Absolutely. I think that there is some element of that going on, but I also believe that there is the extreme stuff going on that I witness here in Colorado, and they openly discuss this stuff. You could find this stuff anywhere online. The whole solar radiation modification, they're all about the stratospheric aerosol injections. They can do this from land-based technologies. They have a thing called marine cloud brightening where they use boats actually to unleash a lot of the sulfuric dioxide and various chemical compounds that they mix together. Geoengineering is not new. They've been doing it for decades upon decades. They have these things called space mirrors they even use. A lot of this stuff is financed by the World Economic Forum and people who meet at that Davos meeting.
Love the cloud whitening.
It's the best, right? Cloud whitening. They do this here in Colorado. A lot of this stuff is openly discussed because they do it for cloud seeding and creating rain and snow in ski resorts and creating rain for farmers in drought-stricken areas. So it's just a funny thing where they balance this dual reality with the geoengineering and the weather modification, which is you're a crazy tinfoil hat, crackpot conspiracy theorist to think that we're manipulating the weather and blocking sunlight. But here's all this technology that we've been allocating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of governmental taxpayer funds to modify the weather and reflect the sunlight. They have, again, space mirrors. They spray stuff. They shoot stuff from boats. They literally explode balloons in the stratosphere. There's a company called Make Sunsets that does it out of California. It's widely, acknowledged. And nobody denies it, except when you start talking about actual chemtrails and all that stuff. Then you're a crazy nut job conspiracy theorist. So cool stuff in my book.